I'd like to spend a couple of minutes also on the way Turks look at Iran. This is obviously the most important issue as far as the recent news are concerned and the debate in Washington is concerned. Let's not forget that Turkey is a Sunni country. Turkey has a perception of this rise of the Shiite and is also, I think, showing a sense of solidarity to a certain degree with the Sunni Arab world in terms of sharing concerns about the rise of a Shiite crescent, as it came to be called. In that sense, this may contradict with Turkey's perception in Washington that it is a country that always defends Iran and refused to partner with the United States in terms of applying sanctions to Iran. I think deep down, there's a big debate within the Turkish government about Iran. And there are those who argue that Turkey should engage in a containment strategy against Iran and try to basically delink Syria from Iran. And that's, I think, almost official policy. The attempt to basically split Syria from Iran is part of this Turkish vision of trying to contain Iran. Turkey also does not want Iraq to be under the domination of Iran. This is why Turkey has been very supportive of Iraqia and Alawi, and Ankara is not very happy with the way things are going in Iraq, with Maliki emerging as a force that would continue to a certain degree Iran's influence over Iraq. So you can see in areas like Syria and Iraq where Turkey is concerned about Iranian influence. Turkey is also concerned about Iran monopolizing Hamas and Hezbollah. This is why you have seen leaders like Khalid Meshal visit Ankara, where Turkey basically clearly wanted to give a message to Khalid Meshal that there are other ways to look at the region, that Hamas should not put all its foreign policy vision into the Syrian or, more importantly, Iranian basket, but should look at Turkey and how Turkey can also help in terms of changing Hamas's vision. And I think the messages given to Hamas were essentially messages that wanted to tame, moderate Hamas's ideology, Hamas's stance towards Israel. So we can put also Turkey's policy in Lebanon and with the Palestinians, with Hamas, as attempts to contain Iranian influence. On the other hand, Turkey is very concerned about Israel and United States using coercive or down the line, basically coercive diplomacy or down the line military action, resorting to military action against Iran. Turkey, if there's one lesson that I think we should keep in mind, is a status quo power. Turkey does not want destabilization in the Middle East. The way Turks look at Iran at this point is through lenses of what happened in Iraq. Another war with Iran, another war in the region, one that would target Iran, even if it's just surgical strikes to nuclear sites, would, in the eyes of Turkey, totally destabilize the region. And this is why Turkey is not willing to go down the road of coercive diplomacy with Iran. This is why I think Turkey does not want to support coercion, diplomatic coercion, economic sanctions, and Turkey wants exclusively an engagement policy with Iran. It doesn't believe in the effectiveness of sanctions. It doesn't believe in the effectiveness of coercive diplomacy. More importantly, I think Ankara believes that there is this almost domino effect that once you start on the road of coercive diplomacy, unavoidably this may lead to the next step of taking military action. That was the lesson of Iraq, and I think there's a lot to be learned from the way Turks look at the 1990s and Iraq with how they look at Iran today, and how similar dynamics of coercive diplomacy, sanctions may lead down the road to military action against the regime. This is why I think Turkey is torn between containing Iran, the urge to contain Iran, the urge to show its Sunni credentials to its Arab partners, and the need to also engage Iran, the need to avoid playing to the what Turkey sees as the American camp or the transatlantic camp of coercive diplomacy. Finally, with Israel, and I will conclude with this, I think it's important to emphasize that public opinion really matters in Turkey. The golden age of Turkish-Israeli relations was at a time when the military was much more active in Turkey and public opinion did not matter that much. Now that we have a different government in Turkey, one that has populist instincts, one that really looks at opinion polls in Turkey, the absence of a Middle East peace process is a major problem for Ankara. The golden years of Turkish-Israeli partnership were in 1996, 1997, when the military partnership treaty was signed. But even then, public opinion had a hard time to digest this. It was essentially military-to-military relations or elite-to-elite relations that was the driver of relations with Israel. The minute Turkey and the Turkish public opinion realized that there is no peace process, the minute Turkish public opinion realized that there is a more hawkish Israeli government, things started to change in the calculation in Turkey. And nevertheless, I think Turkey tried just 2 years ago, was trying hard to provide some bridge between Syria and Israel, for instance. Despite this image of Turkey now as this very anti-Israel country, let's not forget that as late as in 2008, Shimon Peres was addressing the Turkish parliament, and Turkey was trying very hard to mediate between Syria and Israel. And this is also part of Turkey's new engagement policy, trying to revitalize the peace process so that you can sell the partnership with Israel to your public opinion. If there are Israeli jets bombing Lebanon or Israeli jets bombing Gaza, it is very hard for a Turkish prime minister who really cares about public opinion, who has populist rather than Islamist, I believe, instincts, to defend the partnership. On top of it, after what happened with the Mavi Marmara incident, I think it will be very hard to return to any kind of golden era. Normalization would be a major achievement within itself. This is why I think it is crucial for Turkey to see that there is a Middle East peace process. Otherwise, the same jets that were basically bombing Hamas and Lebanon, I don't think they will once again be able to train in Turkey with the Turkish military. This would be something too hard to swallow for Turkish domestic public opinion. So I'll conclude with this, basically with the conclusion that public opinion really matters. What we see in Turkey, rather than Islamization, in my opinion, is a more independent foreign policy, a more nationalist foreign policy, a foreign policy that doesn't want to put all its eggs into the Western basket. It's a more diversified foreign policy. And it's also a foreign policy that is mercantilistic, that emphasizes the new markets, the new trade relations. And it sees a power vacuum in the Middle East. There's a vacuum. Egypt is no longer able to provide the leadership role. And Turkey has become, in my opinion, with its soft power and its self-confidence and its booming economy, a country that can provide some leadership in the region. And it is up to Washington, in my opinion, to realize whether this new Turkish soft power in the region can be leveraged according to US national interests. So the choice for American policymakers is rather they should confront Turkey, punish Turkey for some of its policies vis-a-vis Iran or Israel, or try to engage, leverage, and co-opt Turkey. And I would conclude that this is a very difficult choice. I'll stop here and happy to take questions later.